So your bell work today is our essential question for this section of the unit. It's how are we connected to our environment? So in your journal, I want you just to tell me what do you know about our environment and how we're interconnected, how we're connected with that environment. Okay? So just tell me anything you know. So today we're going to fill out an anticipation guide about how we interact with our environment and see some of the impacts that we have on our environment as humans. Just like our other anticipation guides, there's a statement here, and you're going to decide whether you think that statement's true or false. And then now we're adding a justification. So you're going to work with your partner to write down why you think that statement is either true or false next to it. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hand these out right now to you. Take a few minutes to fill these out and work with your partners.
But then later, if you take away the parts, like certain parts, some of them has poison sacs. So then when the cooker removes it, then they can just go eat it without the poison part.
There are seas and lakes that are vanishing from our planet. I think they are because people are... Oh.
Yeah, I think it's
land, huh?
too.
That's land.
No, I think it is.
Because people are killing the animals or something? I don't know.
Fishes. Yeah. Fish. Salad is healthy for you, but then really steak it has proteins and everything.
So
It's a plant.
a pound of salad gives you more because it's lighter, right?
Yeah, but then what if you get filled up because you always add extras? Like you put croutons or sap.
But it won't add up to a pound. One steak can add up to like a pound, and a whole bunch of salad gives you more
Yeah,
energy.
but it depends on how the steak is cooked.
The lakes won't dry up.
Because they get water from the sea, right?
And from the mountains and all that. Because since the ice is melting, it turns all into water and it flushes onto the lakes.
Plants get their energy straight from the sun, right? When a cow eats it, it takes some of the energy that it took from the plant, and then when we eat the cow, we get that energy. However, there's lesser of it. All right. So how would I write that in a sentence? That's my question.
How could you write that in a sentence? You could just say that at each animal, at each time an animal eats another one, there's energy that's lost. And so plants don't lose any energy. They have full energy from the sun, yeah. There's little stations with pictures and graphs and quotes along the walls and on the back tables, right? You see those? Okay. You're going to work in a pair and you're going to move through a couple of the stations and you're going to write down what you think. You're going to write down your opinions and your ideas about what you see in these pictures, and there's a cartoon and some graphs. And you're just going to put it in your science notebook. So you'll write down the number of the stations because they're all numbered. Start with 1 over there, 2, 3, all the way around to the 18th station here. So you're going to write the number of the station with you and your partner, and then you're going to look at it. You're going to read the captions. You're going to look at the pictures, look at the graphs, read in the information there, and you're going to write down just what you think and keep in the back of your mind our essential question: how are we connected to the environment? So look at these and see how this might go back to our essential question.
Because it's overfished. Too many people is fishing, so the tuna is worrying that eventually someday they're going to get fish, and then the human is trying to get them, and then the species is going to run out. Right?
Just
write our opinion on the statements.
Yeah, whether you agree with them, whether you disagree, whether you had those misconceptions, or maybe you already knew this stuff. So how did you know that stuff? So you just write your opinion, what you know about those statements.
So they bite them because of the algae.
So I guess it's taking out the algae out.
This is like it's trying to eat it. That was like blood.
Say over here. That's big.
88 died with the red tide last year.
That's very tight.
You know, read underneath here, read these captions, okay, remember? And read here, and tell me what you think about this, okay? You don't have to read the entire article, but read what's going on in the captions. Why does it look like this mother sea lion is biting her baby? Okay, so if you read that caption, it's going to tell you, and then you just tell me what you think. We can write a question, anything like that. Okay. So what do you guys think for this one?
I thought it was false, but now I see that we are losing.
What do you mean by false?
Well, the question was whether.
Oh, on your anticipation guide, you mean?
If we were losing our lakes and seas, and I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I guess I was wrong.
And so whole huge lakes that used to be there are now shriveled up into little tiny, much smaller lakes, right? From 1963 to 2001. And this is an actual picture of one of those lakes.
And what do we have?
And what's left over?
What do we? What's the blame for that?
What's the blame for that? Lots of different stuff. Some of it global warming. A lot of times they'll divert water out of lakes to use for farming and to give cities water. So as cities and more people live there, they got to have more water, and so they drain all the water out. So it depends on the lakes, and there's a couple different factors. Okay, we're gonna stop right now and go back to your seats to sit down, and leave your notebooks out. And I want to see did anyone see anything when they were going around at the stations that surprised you, or that was interesting, that you didn't know, or that kind of had made you come up with a question?
The trash is overflowed, and the chicken and the animal was eating it, and then they died because they couldn't digest. And then when they were dissected, inside their body was the trash that wasn't digested.
What they're saying is there's an island out off of Hawaii called Midway Island, and all the trash that comes from Asia and the west coast of the United States and stuff ends up getting put out in the middle of the ocean, of the Pacific Ocean. It gets stuck on the islands. And the bird she was talking about is called an albatross, and the babies eat a bunch of the little pieces of trash because they think they're food, and they fill their stomach so much that they can't eat any more food, and they can't digest those plastic parts, and so they end up dying of starvation. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we impact our environment, and we're now going to look at the organisms and how we classify those organisms in our environment.